okay? I get 40 on my cumulative frequency graph. But what number is with it here? Anybody? Easy question, up for grabs.
20.
Yeah, it's 20. But on our cumulative frequency graph, it's 40. So how do you think we got that number?
Is it like how many students joined in that time period?
So cumulatively, we are adding, yeah, it's kind of, we're adding the two values together. So our cumulative frequency is going to be 40 at that point. So at that point, we have 40 students total playing. Okay. Then we continue doing this, and you'll continue doing this, adding on the next section all the way up to get all the next values. So here we have a P, so we need to actually figure that out. So here we're from 15 to 20, so we're going to go up to 20 and see what it is on our cumulative frequency graph. We're going to map it up, put our point, and then map it over. Okay, so we should get 60 right here. Okay, so if my cumulative frequency is 60, my last one was 40, what should my p-value be?
20.
Yeah, 20. There you go. It sounds like somebody's trying to get in. Hey, Osvaldo. Okay, so we would keep doing this. So if we, let's see, the next one was 40, and I'm just going to tell you we get 100 and 160. Well, we can just add, right? 60 plus 40 gives me 100. 100 plus 60 gives me 160. And we need to look at this next one to see what it is. So we would go up to 50 on our cumulative frequency graph, and we got a long way up to go to get to that. Okay, and then we would go over along that line, and it looks like we should get to, so 180, between 180 and 200, so this should be, let's see, how many steps are between? 1, 2, 3, 4, I think there's 5 steps in between, so 85, 90, 95. No, that doesn't work. 80 to 85, 85 to 90, 95, because then you would get to 200 there. How is it stepped? 2, 4, 6, 8. There we go. So 2, 4, 6, 186. I think it is, but it says 190 on my sheet. What do you guys get right here? Did I do this wrong? Does anybody happen to have it printed out and see?
It goes up by 4 because there's it's 20 total, so you divide it by the number of ticks, which is 5, so there should be 4. So 4 times 2, 3, so it should be plus 12, so it should be 192.
You think it's 190? That's what I said too, right? Or did I say like 194?
You said 186.
186. Oh my goodness. 194 is what you're saying. I have 190 written on my paper from when I did this before.
But how 194 doesn't make any sense though. It would be 192.
I didn't say 194. I said 198. Okay, so we're getting 192, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So we would have 192 here, so how much should we get for Q? What's the difference between 160 and 182?
32.
Yeah, we would get 32. Okay. And then adding 10 to this, we should get 100 or 202. Okay. So that is how the cumulative frequency works. We're just adding the actual frequency each time and like bundling it together. It's like it's snowballing its way up. We can find things. So this is like the important section. This is stuff that IB's gonna ask you about. It's gonna ask you to find the median time, okay? So the median time is gonna be defined by the total number of frequencies that we have. We had 202 as our total number of frequencies. So to find the median, we just take 0.50 and multiply it by 202. Okay, this means that halfway through my data, I will be at the, let's see, half of 202, 101. I'll be at the 101st student. Okay, so I can go backwards on my graph at this point and come back over here, try to figure out something reasonable for 101 and map it down. We should get around 25 minutes when we map it backwards. So we would draw a line to our cumulative frequency graph. We're going this way this time. Map it down, and it's going to be slightly over 25, but we'll just call it about 25 minutes. Okay, what questions do you guys have about that particular process? Okay, the next thing is the interquartile range. I know that our time is up. I'm just going to run through the process real quick. So IQR, remember, is Q3 minus Q1. To find Q3, we want to find the lower 75% of data. We would take that and multiply by 202, and we'd get a value. So a certain number of students. Okay, to find Q1, we do 25%, the lowest 25% of students. 202. Okay, and we would be able to take each of these values and map them back to a time. So our Q3 should be in minutes. So we would take that whatever student that was, start on the left-hand side and map it back to the time. That would be our Q3 cutoff. For this, it would be, we would get, so it would be around, it's going to be a decimal, but we're going to say like about the 150th student and the 50th student for each of these. Okay, we'll just like pretend like it's 200 for a second. When you have 200, it maps back to about 31.5 minutes. And when you have the 50th student here, that maps back to Q1 being our about 18 minutes. Okay, so these are really rough because this lower 75 and the lower 25 are both going to give us decimals. So we kind of have to round our student out. So we just guessed the 150th and the 50th student. You would most likely have a lot better values than this to go back and map. P and Q we found above. What questions do you have? Attempt the practice, but it's obviously not due today, so just kind of look through it and see what you can do. What questions do you have?
I don't have a question about the math, but I have a different question.
Okay, what's up?
Can we switch to Zoom?
No.
Okay.
Sorry. It's like Zoom is the one that keeps on breaking down, and Microsoft Teams has been consistently working. So
Do we still have a quiz next class?
yes, you'll still have a quiz next class, but it's not over cumulative frequency.
Okay. And is the homework still due next class? Like the homework you gave us today, the
Definitely.
page 273?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the homework won't be on anything you have yet to give us notes on.
Correct. Yeah, the quiz is over one variable stuff, like the mean, median, mode stuff, like basic stuff like that, not cumulative. What other questions do you have? Okay, unless you have questions and want to stick around and ask them real quick, you are free to go. Thank you very much. And I will see you guys, I guess, on Wednesday. Not Wednesday, Thursday.
I actually had a question.
Yes. Who said that?
Layla, mine's real fast. So a lot of the assignments, I sent you a remind message last night. A lot of the assignments on Canvas are locked. So I'm trying to turn in late work, but I can't because the assignments are like closed.
Over a week late.
I know.
Lock if they're over a week.
Yeah. Because I did a bunch of the assignments last night, but I can't turn them in.
I was gonna ask you that as well.
And I'm really annoyed about it.
Like I turned that's one of my problems. Like I turned in my stuff, like cause the quiz from last week and then the homework, the exercise 8D, the 7 through 10, I did them and I turned them in. But apparently like when I was about to go in this class, it like showed like it had like that minus, like I didn't turn it in, and when I looked, it said it wasn't turned in, but I did them. And I returned in my homework, but there's like nowhere for me to like return in my quiz. And like my mom signed it and everything, and like she could come tell you that she saw, because she was at home doing her work, working from home that last class. And so she saw my quiz, and then she saw me do it, and she saw me do my homework. But it didn't take it. And so I don't have anywhere to do my quiz.
Layla, I believe that you did it, but did you turn it in on time, like within the deadline?
Yeah, like I turned it in, but apparently it did not take it. Like it didn't take my homework, and so I had to return that in today, and then it didn't take my quiz, and there's nowhere for me to turn it in.
There definitely should still be the same place you would turn it in before, and those should have a week to turn them in, so they should still be open. I will double check them. What was the date on the homework?
The homework, it was last week on the 3rd. It was exercise 8D 7 through 10.
So homework 9-3-20 is the one in question, and then the quiz linear regression.
Yes.
Correct? And so those are on the same day. The submission places are.
Yeah.
And it says it's available. They were available until today because they were like, we started them last week. So then it would have been.
Yeah. And I did them, and it let me return in my math homework, but it didn't, but there's nowhere for me to return in my quiz.
Okay. Yeah. Cause the math homework is due, like the very latest the actual due date was 9 a.m. this morning. The deadline for it was 11:59 tonight. Let me take a look at the quiz. So that's why the homework you were able to turn in the homework.
Okay.
So let me look at the quiz and see when
It says it was locked September 4th at 11:59 p.m.
Okay. Yeah, I think the quiz needed to be done on Friday, by the end of Friday.
Yeah. I mean, I did it on Thursday right after our class.
Okay, so you're just saying that you thought you had submitted it, but for some reason
for some reason it didn't.
Okay, let me look real quick and see if maybe it took where it says like there is an issue. Hallway. Yeah, it says no submission for this assignment.
Come on.
I will open it up just for today till tonight, and you should be able to submit it tonight. The quizzes I'm going to be pretty strict about because I don't want people to